Does it even still make sense to break into tech? If you've been reading about the tech industry the last few years, you'll notice layoff after layoff after layoff. But I'm here to tell you in this quick video 10 reasons why it still makes sense to break into a rewarding and lucrative career in tech. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and now let's get into it. The first reason why I think it still makes sense to break into tech in 2024 is because it's going to teach you valuable communication skills. It is so important to know how to communicate in a professional setting. And it can be almost another language in and of itself when you first join a tech company. You might hear things like, let's circle back on this, or let's determine that CTA once we're closer to GA, or maybe LA. And you might be thinking, what are they talking about? But it's important to master the art of effective professional communication, and it'll be the foundation for whatever you choose to do, whether it's long-term in the tech industry or going into your own entrepreneurial journey. Effectively communicating in a professional setting is necessary to bring your ideas to life. You might have the best and brightest ideas to bring to the table, but if you're not able to talk about them concisely and also break it down by different departments, the way you speak to an executive is not the same way that you would speak to a sales representative, and vice versa. So it's really important to learn the fundamentals about how to communicate effectively in a corporate environment, because it's going to take you a long way in bringing those ideas to fruition. And especially in product marketing is often referred to as the intersection between product, sales, and marketing. And best believe that these three groups can get heated and emotional when talking about key critical decisions around their product or go-to-market strategy. But that is what product marketers do exceptionally well. They're able to take all these different perspectives, break it down, and come back to a collective goal. So that's why I believe that product marketing and tech still make sense in 2024. And if you're not sure where to start and breaking into the corporate world is completely new to you, I highly recommend this book. This book was fundamental in helping me to learn how to navigate high stakes, high emotional conversations, and again, come back to that collective goal and get everybody on the same page. Okay, editing Natalie here, just rewatching this. I understand the irony that as I'm talking about communicating effectively, I'm having a really, really hard time forming words. So please ignore that, and hopefully it's still helpful. The next reason why I believe that tech still makes sense to break into in 2024 is because it's going to give you rich access to feedback culture. Now, depending on the career you're in, but especially if you're owning your own business or you're a solo entrepreneur, feedback culture is almost non-existent, and it can be daunting to do things by yourself for the first time. You don't know if you're going in the right direction, wasting your time, and it can just be a really hard experience not knowing what best practices are. But when you're at a corporate tech role, you have access to people that have been in your shoes, either in your industry or your specific role for years. And so leaning on their expertise can help you to avoid common mistakes and also grow. I highly recommend you take advantage of those around you that are really seasoned and have been in your shoes so you can continue to grow in a more efficient way. Another reason why I think it still makes sense to break into a technical role or tech role in 2024 is because you're going to gain access to a network. When I was in tech sales and trying to transition into product marketing, I took a lot of different calls with old marketing leaders or old colleagues just to ask them how to break into product marketing. And I noticed, and you might notice too if you're applying to these entry-level jobs in product marketing, a lot of them required an MBA. And I was thinking to myself, do I have to go to business school in order to get an entry-level job in this field? And when I talked to former colleagues of mine that I really respected, who even had MBAs, a lot of them told me that the most valuable thing that they got from business school was their network. And so it's a very personal decision whether or not you want to pursue an MBA. But in my experience, starting by just meeting up with people, whether it's literally at meetups, physically or virtually, reaching out to people on LinkedIn and asking them how they got their start and any advice that they had from me, really helped to build the foundation of my network without going to business school. And remember, once you're at those corporate tech roles, through your quality of work and your performance, you're going to build a network organically. And that is so important because your network is gold. Whether you're in tech long term or you want to start off on your entrepreneurial journey, it's so important to have a network of people that you can rely on and you can trust. If I think about myself, I'm starting off on my own entrepreneurial journey, trying different new small businesses, and it's really great to be able to lean on the folks that I worked with directly. I can lean on someone who's an expert at email marketing or someone who is a design expert who I love their style. And it's really great to be able to outsource some of this work if you are on your own, if that's the path that you choose. But building a network is so valuable also if you stay in the tech industry. The next reason why I still believe in tech careers in 2024 and why it still makes sense to break into them is because you're more likely to find a mentor. And I'm not saying that you can't find a mentor in another type of career, but in my experience, it was really easy to find that person who I just immediately clicked with, I felt a closeness with, and who I knew could help me on my journey. When I first joined a product marketing organization, I got really close to my director at that organization. And over time, I've been able to lean on her for so many things, from a second pair of eyes on a project at my current company, to helping me with a take-home writing assignment for an interview that I have coming up. And also, she's been helpful in connecting people that I know are trying to break into product marketing and really want to learn from people that are the best of the best in this field. And so over time, I felt like I can really rely on this person. And again, it was really easy to find her just organically at my corporate tech job and working cross-functionally with her, working directly with her, and just getting to know her. And finding a mentor is often a question that I get asked from people that are trying to break into product marketing. And it's a little tricky because it's not very common that you hear people ask someone, hey, do you want to be my mentor? It usually happens pretty organically. You're going to find that person who you feel, again, that closeness to, and it will just happen naturally. You'll start to ask for advice from them, and if they're the kind of person that is open to being a mentor, they're going to respond and be helpful because they've been in your shoes. I actually recently had someone reach out to me on LinkedIn, doing all the right things, trying to break into product marketing. And she was really looking for, advice to understand about product marketing. How could she break into the role and stand out from the crowd? That's exactly how you build the foundation for finding a mentor. And I don't know where our relationship will go, but I know that I loved helping her out, and I hope that she got a lot of valuable information from me, and that might build the foundation for a mentorship relationship in the future. So you don't have to wait to start building these relationships. You never know where they can go. Just start by being curious. Go and talk to someone on LinkedIn that's in your dream role and see if they have any advice that they would be willing to share. 9 times out of 10, people remember what it's like to be in your shoes. They remember the struggle. And so they're going to help you, and then naturally you're going to find either a mentor in them or a mentor maybe in a director or direct manager when you join a company. The next reason why I think it still makes sense to break into tech in 2024 is because you're going to get access to industry expertise. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about that in terms of what's valuable in a tech career. But if you look on LinkedIn, you might notice that some people specialize in a certain industry. They might be in that industry for 5 years. Some I've even met that have been in that industry for 30 years, believe it or not. And currently, I'm working at an enterprise telecom company that focuses on delivering great customer experiences. And so as I branch out into my own entrepreneurial journey, I'm learning what it takes to make sure that my customers are happy. Whether they're watching a YouTube video or they download some piece of content that I think would be helpful for them, or they join my course on breaking into product marketing, I want to make sure that I'm answering a question or a problem that they have, that I'm making sure that I'm providing valuable content and valuable advice for whoever is digesting my content. And so you'll notice that over time, when you're in tech, being in a certain industry could really open up doors that you never thought were possible. I also, at the beginning of my career, I was in tech sales and I was selling to HR and recruiting professionals. And it was really helpful to understand, how does an HR person think about their job? What are the challenges that they face? What do recruiters actually look for when they're looking through resumes? And how can I tailor my resume to stand out? How can I make my candidacy be an obvious choice for a role? And so again, you never know what industry experience can do for you, whether or not you stay in a corporate tech role, or sometimes people will actually get really good at the technical aspect or the software that a certain buyer uses, and then they'll go to a company and actually operate that software or own that software. So, and I've seen that vice versa as well. So industry expertise is often underrated, and I think a valuable reason why it still makes sense to break into tech in 2024. Another reason why I believe that tech careers like product marketing still make sense to break into in 2024 is because you're going to learn valuable go-to-market strategies. The way that tech companies bring products or services to market changes all the time. I actually just read a book about product-led growth right here that taught me about this revolutionary way of bringing products to market. Product-led growth, or PLG, is a way that consumers can actually achieve something in the product of value before buying, and often without the involvement or the requirement of talking to salespeople. Again, this is revolutionizing the way that products are brought to market in a lot of industries, including my own right now in the contact center software space. This kind of methodology is so important to learn, whether you're in tech long-term or you're looking to branch out and go into your own business. Learning go-to-market strategies is key to getting your product out there to the market and getting them to understand that it can solve their problem. Corporate tech careers give you the ability and the access to play around with these different go-to-market strategies without the risk of it being your own business and your own money. It still makes sense to break into technical roles or tech in general in 2024 because they're going to teach you valuable time management skills. Especially in product marketing, you're going to have to manage multiple projects at once, sometimes up to 10 projects at once, with multiple departments and people responsible for a specific task, whether it be a product launch or some other project that's cross-functional. And time management skills are not only important in your professional life, but also in your personal life. And being able to be organized and stay on your deadlines in any career will be helpful. And when I say that it's important even in your personal life, think about it. Time management skills in a very cross-functional role like product marketing can teach you how to effectively book time for that hobby that you love, or make sure that you're consistent with your workout. And so I really believe that corporate tech roles will help give you that foundation to give you really strong time management skills that are going to help you go far. And I believe that time management skills are going to be fundamental in your success, whether you're in tech for long term or you're starting off on your own business. Getting into one of the amazing benefits of a tech job and why I still think it makes sense to break into tech in 2024 is because of the flexibility and the work-life balance. Now, a lot of companies are requiring employees in tech to come back to the office, but most of them require you to come in the office 2 or 3 days a week. Now, I am very privileged and lucky to be working at a fully remote organization, and I cannot tell you how much I love working remote. Now, it comes with its own challenges. Obviously, you have to be good at managing your time and being organized. But if you have systems in place, working remotely can be an incredible thing and can also be really great in terms of cost reductions. I don't have to spend money on gas in my commute. I also don't have to spend money on that fancy coffee I never liked, or that lunch downtown in San Francisco that was pretty expensive. So being able to work at a fully remote company is great to allow me to basically live on my terms. All right, let's talk money. So one of the biggest reasons why I think it still makes sense to break into tech in 2024, but really any year, is because of how lucrative these careers can be. Starting salaries in tech can be astronomical, depending on what role you're looking at, but definitely higher than average in my opinion. And in the rising costs of living era, and also, with inflation, money is very important, but it's not only about where you start in terms of your salary, but also what's the potential earnings that you can have over time. Now, if you look at the most, average product marketing manager role in San Jose, California, or in the Bay Area, it's $175,000. Now, I currently don't make that much money, but I can say I live pretty comfortably, and I'm very grateful that tech has allowed me to really be able to invest in my retirement aggressively, invest in the stock market aggressively, and also to fuel my passion projects like this YouTube channel. And I still think it makes sense to break into tech in 2024 despite the negativity you might see in the news, because tech jobs, especially ones like product marketing, will teach you the ropes of how to be an entrepreneur. In product marketing, I learned how to identify my customers' problems, how to find solutions to solve those problems, how to understand how they feel, how to look into market research, look into my competitors, and really create a message of how we're different than our competitors and how we can solve your problem. Having a career in tech, like product marketing, gives you a crash course on entrepreneurship while collecting a steady paycheck. So get that paycheck, learn the ropes, and invest in your creative outlets. And those are the main reasons why I think it still makes sense to break into tech, and especially roles in tech like product marketing in 2024. If you're exploring roles like product marketing but not sure if it's a good fit for you, check out my latest video to see if you have what it takes to make a great product marketer. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you got a lot out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.